DeWanna Bonner is an absolute legend. And this is one of the lowest of the low things that I've seen in sports.
DeWanna Bonner has officially moved on from the Indiana Fever after being away for 5 games due to personal matters. It's now confirmed. DeWanna's time with Indy has come to an end. Fever fans, who had shown nothing but support during her mysterious absence, aren't just let down. Many feel completely blindsided. And it's not simply because DeWanna was expected to bring veteran leadership, guide Caitlin Clark, and help push the Fever toward a serious title run. It's not even about the excitement that surrounded her when she first joined the team. What really stings for fans is the reported reason behind her decision to leave. That's what's been hard to swallow. In a season already packed with unpredictable highs and lows, the Fever find themselves facing another challenge. But here's the surprising part. This might actually work in their favor. Recent developments suggest that this situation could turn out to be a hidden opportunity. Let's dive into why. And hey, if you had a feeling DeWanna might be on her way out, give this a quick like and make sure to subscribe for more WNBA news.
When DeWanna signed with the team, she said at this point in her career, she's playing for championships and obviously have championship experience in those veterans they brought in. How much did that get to add to the culture or just what it takes to win at a high level?
Yeah, I mean, DB has been tremendous. Like, she's such a selfless leader. Like, she's here to win. She says that, but she really means it.
Heading into what was supposed to be a promising offseason for the Fever, DeWanna Bonner was viewed as a key piece in their push toward a potential championship. With multiple All-Star appearances and championship rings under her belt, she had the experience teams dream of. Even at 37, her encore performance was still strong. But what really set her apart wasn't just the numbers, it was the leadership she could bring to the locker room. Last season, with Caitlin Clark leading the charge, the Fever made an exciting run to the playoffs and quickly became one of the league's most talked about teams. However, they ran into the Connecticut Sun and were swept into straight games. After that loss, even Caitlin acknowledged a major gap. The team lacked postseason experience and a steady veteran presence. That's exactly why DeWanna was brought in, to be that missing piece. At first, everything seemed to click. She said all the right things, fully embraced the team-first approach, and stepped into the role of the calm, reliable leader the Fever needed.
And also joining a team that's just impressive. I think everybody's seen the second half of their season, and it was an unbelievable season. And I just felt like they had a dynamic core, and I just wanted to be another puzzle piece into what they had. And hopefully I can give my knowledge, my leadership, and give it to these young players. So when I retire, they can pass it along. So I feel like they're young, but I also feel like they're a great young. They don't need too much coaching and too much leadership. They kind of figure it out themselves, and I'm just hoping that I can add to it and make basketball a little easier for them, and as well they can make it a little easier for me.
She was welcomed like a hero. Fever fans quickly rallied around her, buying her jerseys, showing endless support, and embracing her in a way she probably hadn't experienced at any other point in her career. Just like the other offseason signings, she genuinely seemed excited to be in Indy, feeding off the buzz of joining a championship caliber squad in what many are calling the most electrifying basketball market right now, or at least that's how it appeared.
I guess to that point, how does this kind of compare to what you are used to?
Oh man, yeah, totally different atmosphere. The support here has been just phenomenal. I really can't go anywhere. I've been here like a week and a half, and everywhere I go, it's just like, we're excited for the season. Thank you for being here. So it's been really refreshing. And
you get that on the streets?
I'm sorry?
You get that on the streets?
Yeah, everywhere I go, it's just, can't even go to the grocery store without someone saying how excited they are. So it's just been really refreshing. I'm excited to be here.
And Caitlin, who, despite all she's already achieved and the calm maturity she shows, is still just 23 and figuring things out in real time, was genuinely excited to have DeWanna on board. As Caitlin mentioned in an earlier clip, she viewed DeWanna as a selfless veteran who would do whatever it took to help the team chase a title. At first, things looked promising. DeWanna got off to a big moment, climbing to third on the all-time scoring list during the Fever's blowout win over the Sky. But soon after, things began to unravel. Her early season performance was underwhelming, averaging just 7 points per game, less than half of the 15 points she was posting the year before. While some of the struggles were on her, it also raised a bigger question that both fans and analysts had already been whispering. Did the front office really bring in the right players to support Caitlin Clark? And did head coach Stephanie White actually have a strategy to make this roster click.
I don't know what Stephanie White's doing exactly. I don't have a clue. Again, I don't know what the identity of this team is. I really don't. It seems like they play a different way every game. One could say, well, that's her game plan. She's game planning for each team. How's that working out for you?
Regardless of what caused the slump, after just 9 games, Dana was suddenly missing from the lineup, citing personal reasons. Interestingly, this happened to coincide with Caitlin Clark's return from injury in a matchup against the Liberty. Not long before that, head coach Stephanie White had also stepped away briefly for personal matters, so at first, fans responded with genuine concern, assuming Dana's absence might be due to something serious or family-related. But as Dana remained out, game after game, with no official explanation, no injury listing, and no clear timetable for her return, that initial concern quickly shifted to confusion.
How is she doing? Is there any timeline for her return?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day to day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive of DB.
That's when the rumors really started to spiral. Some fans noticed Dana had apparently wiped fever-related posts from her social media accounts. There were quiet talks about her jerseys no longer being processed at the team store, and even claims that her banner had been taken down from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Whether all of that was completely true or not almost didn't matter at that point, because the lack of communication from the team only added fuel to the fire. With no upgrades, fans naturally began to piece things together on their own, hunting for signs, making connections, and quietly bracing themselves for bad news. In the end, they were right.
Multiple league insiders are reporting to Annie Costabile, of course Annie Costabile is breaking this news, of Front Office Sports, that DeWanna Bonner has quote-unquote no interest in returning to the Indiana Fever, instead wanting to be in landing spots with either the Phoenix Mercury or the Atlanta Dream.
Interview 7. At this point, it wasn't just internet chatter. Several trusted media sources were now confirming it. DeWanna Bonner was essentially on her way out. Naturally, all attention shifted to head coach Stephanie White. With the news now circulating widely, fans expected some clarity, maybe even a straightforward explanation about what was really going on. But when she was asked about it, silence.
Obviously, there were reports today that DB isn't or doesn't intend to return to the team. Just what conversations have you had with her and with the front office about that?
Yeah, I had a lot of conversations recently. Really been focused on the group that we have right here, and what we need to do to position ourselves to win.
Dana's agent stayed completely quiet too, and honestly, that silence said a lot. If the reports were wrong, shutting them down would have been simple. A quick statement, a post, even a single tweet would have done. But instead, nothing. That kind of silence wasn't just no comment. It pretty much confirmed what everyone suspected.
No comment is a comment. No explanation is an explanation. If we were trying to get back, we would have said, oh, we're trying to get back. We're trying to work some things out behind the scenes so both parties are satisfied moving forward. We don't even get that.
Remember all the talk about Dana being the ultimate team player, the selfless veteran who just wanted to chase a championship and do whatever she could to help. Well, if the reports are to be believed, that attitude seemed to fade the moment she was moved to the bench. Apparently, she wasn't okay with taking on a smaller role. Instead of stepping up to guide the young core or supporting Caitlin through the weight of early season expectations, it seems like she mentally checked out.
Says here, multiple sources told Front Office Sports the fit in Indiana was off in the beginning. Bonner, who was signed to be an anchor to win with championship experience for the team's young core, was expected to be a starter. So basically, she stunk it up, got benched for Alexi, and was pissed. But it is what it is.
I'm about to explain why this situation might actually turn out to be a hidden blessing. But first, it's important to acknowledge how painful this has been for Fever fans. They welcomed Dana with open arms, seeing her as a leader and a key part of building the team's culture. She was expected to guide this young core all the way to a championship, and when she went missing, fans didn't just shrug it off. Many were genuinely worried about her health and being so now. Hearing that she might have walked away simply because she wasn't happy coming off the bench leaves fans feeling shocked and, for many, deeply betrayed.
She's on our team. We want to support her. Let's just give her some grace. And now we get some clarity on that situation. Now we get some understanding of that situation, and all of that grace can get thrown right out the window.
You have people fearing the worst for her family. You have people fearing the worst for everything. You have people saying that they hope everything's good with DeWanna Bonner. It turns out she apparently is just pissed off that she wasn't starter.
And here's another layer to the story. Dana isn't typically very active on social media, but right after the news came out while she was still officially on the roster, still receiving pay, and still listed as out for personal reasons, she chose to make an Instagram post during the Fever's game against the Storm. What's more, it wasn't about the team or the game at all. It was just a casual post, seemingly for fun.
She posted it during the game at like 11 p.m. At like 11 p.m.
On its own, an Instagram post isn't a huge deal, but when you rarely post at all, and then suddenly drop one late at night right in the middle of a game, while you're officially out for personal reasons and fans are still worried about you, it can come across as tone deaf. Whether she meant it that way or not, it left a sour impression on many fans. And speaking of things feeling off, that brings us to another part of the story. According to sources, the vibe in Indy just never felt quite right from the beginning. Yes, Dana's performance on the court was noticeably down, averaging less than half of her usual points per game. But this seemed to be about more than just basketball. The team chemistry was missing, and some have even suggested that her partner, Alyssa Thomas, might have played a role in her decision to leave.
You guys remember what Alyssa Thomas said about the Indiana Fever fan base last year? And all the things that she heard coming from this fan base last year? That's off. You guys remember what Alyssa Thomas said about the Angel Reese Chicago Sky sham investigation, right? Oh, if Angel said she heard it, then we believe that she heard it. That's off, right? Right.
Before I share the silver lining here, drop a basketball emoji in the comments if you think Dana's decision to leave was basketball related, or drop a P emoji if you believe it was something personal. Now, the Fever faced some serious choices. Assuming they've been aware of the situation for a while and kept it quiet, you'd hope they've been making plans. But even with that, moving a high-priced player, someone earning around $100, zero who's not performing up to expectations and openly wants out isn't easy. There's no real leverage or demand, and they had to act quickly for a few key reasons. She wasn't contributing on the court, she'd become a distraction, and if they waited too long, her salary would fully guarantee. Basically, they had to pause, trade her for minimal return, or waive her to free up cap space. While waiving might seem like a loss, at this stage it was more about cutting losses and moving forward.
She got benched, she couldn't handle it, I want out. She's not playing well, she's getting criticized, I want out. Her significant others call this fan base racist on 2 occasions now, I want out.
Here's the reality. If a player doesn't want to be there, they have to move on. The longer Dana remained on the roster, the more that uncertainty loomed over the Fever like a dark cloud. It seems the Fever management felt the same way. They waived her within a day. But that only addresses part of the issue. The gap she leaves behind is about more than just her absence. The Fever are now facing the possibility of losing yet another key player.
This opens up a lot for the Indiana Fever, as well as them having to scramble for what they're going to do next. Because, as I'm sure many of you know, Demiris Dantas, who is a big, she is part of the front court of the Indiana Fever. She will be gone from the team after tonight's game against the Seattle Storm.
The Fever have made some moves, but there's still a lot to figure out. We're only about a third of the way through the season, and while the team is holding its ground, it's already been a tough year. There was the hate speech investigation that didn't lead anywhere, and Caitlin missed 5 games. Her comeback against the Liberty felt like a hopeful moment, but the very next game against the Suns saw her targeted again, though it only resulted in a couple of upgraded fouls after the fact. Sophie Cunningham was the only one who delivered meaningful retaliation on the court. With all the attention constantly focused on her, it's got to be taking a toll on Caitlin. And honestly, this team and maybe even the entire league revolves around her right now. She's still battling through it.
Nonetheless, Caitlin Clark continues to struggle. One of the worst games of her career, if not the worst game of her career against the Storm. I don't even think she had like the playmaking prowess that she had in the first half against the Aces or the Valkyries. Still wound up with 9 assists, 8 turnovers though, 0 of 6 from 3.
She recently had another challenging game against the Storm. And one thing I've noticed while scrolling, through X this past week is that fans are starting to pick up on something. Caitlyn just seems different. Like the spark, the joy she usually plays with is fading.
I think for the challenge for myself going forward is just, continue to pour into every other aspect of the game, and I can continue to have an impact in, all those other areas. I thought I got to the rim well. It was just, certainly a tough shooting night, and, you got to find a way to continue to shoot and remain confident in myself, because I know I put the time in. But for me, I don't feel like it's, anything that's off necessarily, but yeah, it'd be nice.
Of course, losing and having a tough game will affect anyone's mood, especially in front of the press. But you have to wonder if everything Caitlyn's been facing, from the Dana situation to the rough game against Connecticut and more, is starting to take a real toll on her. After all, Dana was someone Caitlyn looked up to. She was genuinely excited to play alongside her during training camp, and even said she wanted to win a championship for Dana. Now, not only is Caitlyn disappointed in how things ended, but she's likely also troubled by the message it sends to the rest of the team.
DeWanna Bonner was brought in for leadership. She was brought in for leadership. And do you want to know all that these young players learned from her? If things don't go your way, refuse to show up. Continue to get paid a max contract while you are sitting out, refusing to play.
Now, I promise a silver lining. Here it is. Dana clearly didn't want to be with the Fever, and to get to that point, there had to be some tension behind the scenes that everyone probably felt. As disappointing as it is, moving on lifts a big weight off the team's shoulders. Let's be honest, she was earning $100, zero, but only putting up around 7 points per game, and just didn't look like her old self. That's a significant amount of cap space tied up in low production. Now, that money can be redirected toward players who better fit the team system. Realistically, the Fever were never going to trade or waive her otherwise. Just like what we're seeing with Bree Turner. So in the end, this could actually be a positive. Then there's the pace issue. Fans and analysts have pointed it out. All season, the team plays too slow. With that roster spot now open, they can bring in some fresh legs. That's why fans were excited when the team quickly brought back our McDonald, who has already added much needed energy. That's an instant upgrade. Plus, the leadership remains strong with Natasha Howard and Sydney Colson. The veteran presence and championship experience in the locker room are still there. That said, there's still work to be done. The Fever have lost some size, and it will be interesting to see who they bring in next. But whatever happens, it's better than holding onto a player who doesn't want to be part of the team. If you're still watching, drop a basketball emoji in the comments to show you're here.